So we got Show Me to 15.
Show me 15.
What's your name?
Rasheen Aldridge.
Rasheen. So you live in St. Louis area?
Yes, sir.
I came here originally, wanted to really focus on the minimum wage and obviously Anthony Lamar Smith. Talk about, I feel like when you raise the minimum wage to $10, which isn't enough anyway, it's kind of like you're like teasing people. You're giving them like a little light because $7.70 to $10 could be significant for for low-income people, and then they're rolling it back. To me, that's economic violence.
Yeah, I mean it's a horrible situation, right? You had low-wage workers that for the last couple years since 2013, May 8th, I remember Jimmy John's was the first store here in St. Louis, my store, to go out on strike for a higher wage in the union. Finally started to do the right things, started to talk to legislators, talk to politicians to try to get 15 at the Board of Aldermen. And unfortunately, we're not there in Missouri where they feel like 15 is a livable wage, but we was able to get it down to $10. Workers said, okay, that's fine, because we do understand that, it's better than $7.65. $10 is going to be able to start to at least have workers to not worry about if it's going to be rent or if it's going to be electricity, if it's going to be gas or if it's going to be food in the refrigerator. So we eventually passed this $10, and then 2 days when it was supposed to go into effect, Supreme Court actually said, you know what, someone had sued it and said, you know what, it's going to have to get halted. So it got halted for 2 years, and then it finally went into effect. Workers were making, or actually getting about $200 more in their paycheck. And then all of a sudden, Jeff City said, you know what, all the hard work that the low-wage workers have been doing for these last couple of years to actually get it to a higher wage, not a livable wage, but a higher wage, that's not going to happen. And they wrote it right back down to 8.35 or something like that.
770.
Yeah, 7.
And by the way, with zero evidence of nothing, like just bullshit Republican talking points about, our businesses are harmed, this and that. Well, then why are there some businesses around here saying we're going to stay on the $10? If St. Louis is falling because you rose it to $10, why is that? That doesn't make any sense. You were talking about $200 extra in a paycheck, which is significant if you're living paycheck to paycheck. Can you talk about your story, family, friends? What did that mean to people? Because I know for me, I make more than that, but I used to make nothing. And the stress, both health and physical, of wondering, am I going to live out of my car? Or kind of talk about what the improvements were and now what the kind of backwardsness has happened.
I think people don't really understand when we started this in 2013, what people don't understand, the individuals that are in these industries, the individuals that are working in these low-wage jobs are not your typical young individuals that look like me. It is majority women trying to support their families in their 30s and 40s.
A lot of single mothers.
A lot of single mothers that have degrees, a lot of men that have degrees, but those jobs went away. So these low-wage jobs monopolized, and that's where people had to go to support their families. Even like myself, when I was in high school, I was working out at McDonald's and then later transferred to Jimmy John's closer to my home. But the main reason for that job was basically to help my mom out, to get, make sure she had detergent in the house, to make sure that it was able to keep gas in the car so I can go out and get that job, or go out to the job. I know a woman, her name is Wanda Williams. She's a leader here in the Show Me 15 campaign, and she works down at McDonald's. And like I said, she was able to get a little bit more money now that we passed this minimum wage. Unfortunately, she told me that about $250 of that money that since the $10 was increased is now gone, and that's hurting her because that was helping her keep diapers for her grandson. She has about 8 grandkids, and that money was helping her help out her grandkids, making sure that electricity was staying on. And what people don't understand is it's not easy to just go out and find that replacement. It's not easy to go out and just try to be able to get that money to keep their lights on, and they're working hard. They're working hard for this money, the money that they deserve. So,
well, I think it's interesting that these same Republicans, like the governor and the city that moved it backwards, are then also complaining about these welfare queens and these welfare people, sucking off the government's teat, as they say. Well, you're making them go on welfare because you're moving their scale all the way back down to 770.
people don't. We're not asking for a handout. People have been asking for a hand up, and that's what they've been doing for the last 3 years. So it's not people asking for more money because they don't deserve it. They have. When people go to these jobs, they're putting 110% into these industries. When people are going to work, we're giving it our all. The only thing we're asking for is what we deserve. McDonald's and these large corporations make billions and billions of dollars, and they can pay a livable wage. As we see Target then recently just came out and said we're going to pay $11, and in 2020 we're going to pay $15 because they can pay it, but they rather not pay it. So we're not asking for a handout. We're asking for a hand up that we deserve.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.